All right, let's pull back the curtain on the world of high finance trading. Today, we're going to peek into the secrets of hedge funds and find out how the pros really do it, all based on a really fascinating deep dive with an actual hedge fund manager.
So let's just jump right in with a question that I know a lot of traders have asked themselves, especially after a rough day. Is the market really out to get you? Is there some kind of big bad algorithm designed specifically to hunt your stop loss? Well, we're about to get into it.
First things first, you gotta understand that we're talking about two completely different worlds here. You've got the retail trader, right? Usually trading their own cash, using pretty high leverage, and often chasing those huge percentage gains. But then on the other side, you have the hedge fund trader. They're managing other people's money. Their leverage is lower, and their entire world revolves around consistency and a systematic edge. The differences are just huge, and they really shape everything else we're about to talk about.
Okay, so let's get into our first section and start by blowing up some of the biggest myths in the market. Because the reality of how institutions work, well, it's probably not what you think. And I want to kick this off with a quote from hedge fund manager Bass Koyman that is, well, it's pretty blunt. He says, "A lot of people are still thinking that retail has anything to say in this, and you don't." Oof, it's a harsh thing to hear, but it's the perfect starting point for understanding your actual impact or lack thereof on the market.
And if you want to understand what he means by that, you really only need to know one number, 95%. That's roughly the percentage of retail orders that get internalized by brokers. What does that mean? It means your trade never even makes it to the live market, it just gets settled inside the brokerage. So it really makes you wonder, are you trading against the market, or are you just trading against your broker?
And hey, even for that tiny fraction of trades that do make it to the real market, you've got this other myth to deal with, the myth of size. You might think your 100-lot, 200-lot, even 300-lot order is absolutely massive. But in the Forex market, where over $7 trillion changes hands every single day, your trade is literally a drop in the ocean. The pros know this, and that knowledge completely changes the way they approach the game.
Okay, so if the pros aren't these huge market-moving titans and they're dealing with all this insane pressure, how do they stay so calm? Well, the secret isn't that they hire a bunch of emotionless robots. Nope, it's that they build what you could call a psychology shield right into the way they operate.
It all comes down to how they structure their accounts, and honestly, it's brilliant. A trader doesn't just log in and see a, $200 million fund balance staring back at them. The money is layered. It goes from the main fund down to a specific department, and then finally into an individual trader's account, which might be a much more manageable size, like 100 grand up to $1 million. And the key is, the trader can only see their own little account. It's like an emotional safety barrier.
And get this is the wild part. The system is so effective that Koyman says traders often have no idea how much capital they're truly responsible for until it's bonus time. Just think about that for a second. You could be clicking buttons, executing trades that are being copied onto a $10 million position in the background, but all you're focused on are the rules and lot sizes for your 100K account. It just strips away all that psychological weight and lets you execute your plan.
Now, this whole structure, this psychological shield, it leads to a completely different way of thinking about risk. We're talking about a totally different ballgame. While a lot of retail and prop traders are out there swinging for the fences trying to hit home runs, the institutional world is focused on something else entirely: consistency.
Just look at the numbers here. The difference is night and day. A prop firm trader might be shooting for 50, even 100% gains in a year. A hedge fund, they're targeting a much more modest 10 to 30%. But the real story is in the loss limits. A hedge fund trader has a hard, non-negotiable 1% daily limit and a 3% weekly limit. The message is crystal clear. Protecting the capital is priority number 1, 2, and 3.
So you might be asking, why on earth are their goals so much lower? Well, it's all about who they're trying to impress. Their clients, these big institutional investors, they aren't comparing the fund's performance to some retail trader who got lucky on a meme stock. No, they're comparing it to things like the S&P 500. And in that universe, if you can consistently deliver 15%, you're a hero. It's all about perspective.
And I really want to hammer this home. When we say hard loss limits, we mean hard. These are not suggestions. They're not guidelines. If a trader hits that 1% daily loss or 3% weekly loss, boom, their system is switched to read only. They're done for the day or even the week. There's no revenge trading. There's no let me just make it back. The system itself enforces the discipline.
Okay, so after all that, what does it all mean for you? This is the most important part. How can you take these ideas, adopt this pro mindset, and actually apply it to your own trading, like right now? Think of this as your new checklist, your roadmap.
It's about creating strict, non-negotiable rules for yourself. It's about systemizing your risk with those hard loss limits we just talked about. It means you stop chasing lottery tickets and start focusing on building a long-term, verifiable track record. At the end of the day, it's about trading your plan, not your P&L, not your feelings, and treating this like the serious profession it actually is.
So let's wrap this all up. The big secret, the real edge the professionals have, it isn't some crazy, complex algorithm they're hiding from the world. It's discipline, a relentless, system-enforced discipline. So the real question you got to ask yourself is, what's your edge?